Hello, everyone. Ben Bryce here again, joined by Teddy Tarvis to give you your midday mayhem. And Teddy, we're seeing a lot of action. These grains seem to be moving around quite a bit. The grains had a nice overnight session. And then what happened out of the gates here?
Yeah, we got the export sales report this morning. It was kind of lackluster. Corn was actually decent, but
Yeah,
everything else kind of lackluster there. So beans started out strong. I think they hit some decent resistance up there around, was it 1258, and kind of pulled back off that. So yeah, other than that, there's not a whole lot of news that's going on. I mean, you got corn up a few cents, wheat kind of flirting with unchanged. So um, yeah, I was hoping the beans would be able to hold their strength.
yeah. The beans are tough, right? I mean, they kind of came out of the gates good, and they retested some of those highs from the 7th of May, and they've kind of been setting back, and you are seeing a little bit of bear spreading so far today in these beans. The front months are getting hammered a little bit more than the deferred, which is good if you're short front months, but at the same time, we aren't really seeing much news out of them. Like you said, the corn this morning on the exports were weekly export sales was nice, but beans really was actually, on the lower end of the estimates, and compared to the 5-year average on what they look like around this time of the year, it's really poor. So the wheat exports, seem like, at least so far this week, that they're not there. We haven't really been seeing too many flash sales in the morning. So that demand picture that we're lacking still seems to be in play, and we're not really seeing too much change in that. Now, this is a few weeks in a row of corn having some decent weekly export sales. So if that continues, I mean, that story could be changing, but it's still so early to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And really, demand's one side of the story. We still have that supply out there for the corn, and not that that's really impacting the market today, but we are headed into a long weekend. So what are you thinking about, for this weekend? Should we be taking some risk off ahead of it, or do you think that, with projections out there, that this market may continue the way that it has been?
Well, it's a good question, and to add on to that real quick, just with the beans, there are rumors that China may or may not be buying more from us. So for the bulls, that would be some good news. Now, heading into the weekend, it's being on Memorial Days on Monday, it's tough to say. I would like to say that we can see a stronger push forward here over the next 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks, but I don't think it's a bad idea to try to take risk off, especially gauging on how tomorrow goes. So if there is a good pop, I think you might see some good profit taking. So
yeah, and it's something to look at too. Is your cash sales out there? Because I've been hearing rumors that the bids and the basis have been getting a little bit more friendly. So if that's the case, look at your break evens, see what you need to be getting this year for your old crop if you still have it, or if you need to be looking for new crop. See what your elevators are offering you guys, because that's something that we need to be taking action now. And while the prices are as high as they've been really since we've had this rally since February for the grains, it's kind of a nice area to be looking at. And the wheat too, you got to be careful on the wheat. Wheat went up, hit some resistance, and has been able to close up there. Now you have some bullish story behind the wheat market, but is there enough to keep that market in play? That's kind of what you got to be looking at. So with the grains, keep your eye on it. Could be a little dicey, but livestock, I mean, that's been pretty quiet up until right before we started here. So what came out for the livestock and hogs?
Yeah, actually, there's a few headlines floating around for cattle. We're seeing more news about the bird flu. I don't want to keep tooting that horn, but it is something that
yeah, we saw someone get another human transition there. Yeah. I think it was in Michigan.
Yeah, up in Michigan, someone has the bird flu. So just something to note, keep in the back of your mind. But
something with that though, with the bird flu, right? We've been talking about this for 2 months now, and sure, when the initial headlines came out, we didn't really know how it would impact live cattle, or just cattle in general. And it seems like the cows are fine. It seems like if they get it, they're okay. It's not like it's too much more than maybe a light cold, but is humans getting it? Is that something that we need to be scared of? Is that going to impact the beef market? Is that going to impact the demand, you think?
I really don't think so. I think one of the main players in cattle right now is going to be the box beef, right around its resistance levels currently. So, can we keep going higher as possible? But I would just be very cautious, trying to, go long. But it's interesting to watch because it seems like box beef has just been the driver here
right
for the last 2 weeks.
We just got this report this morning down 250.
Yeah,
And it was a little bit lower last night
we're
too.
seeing some slightly lower cash bids than we were expecting. So just something to be aware of and very cautious of.
Yeah, it has moved up quite a bit here the past few weeks, and is it going to continue? That's kind of the question that I think you're asking, right? Is it going to? Maybe, right? But we need to see continued demand and continued strength in the box beef, and that seems like right now it's waning a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So the most exciting market of all right now, the hogs. What are we looking at with them?
Well, when it comes to the hogs, we're looking at export sales and demand, and right now it's really just not there. But China has that a much bigger.
What would you say?
They're
hogging the market.
China is hogging the market. So, that's something to definitely be aware of as exports with pork. But, we keep getting the cutout numbers. It's relatively mixed, and there's just not really anything that's driving this market right now much higher. So, that's really
there's really no story.
There's not much to it.
Yeah.
You can look at it from a technical side as well, but there's just not a whole lot of news coming out.
And real quick, before we sign off here, we do have a cattle on feed report tomorrow that's going to be coming out tomorrow afternoon. So that's something to consider. You're getting a big cattle report going into a long weekend. And that report's so far, people are expecting a little bit tighter numbers. So it is a friendly estimate right now, and we'll see what comes out. But it could be a pretty wild open as we get going on Tuesday with Monday, the market being closed. So keep that in mind, you cattle guys out there. With that, guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching us. If you guys have any questions, we can really only say so much on here. We'd love to talk to you, get a little, know a little bit more about you and your operation. So give us a call, 1-800-2-MARKET. That's 1-800-262-7538. Or check us out online at allendale-inc.com, Commodity Cast. We got a couple websites for you. So again, thank you guys for being here.